All right. We've got a pretty good sized meeting, so we're going to get going. The time is now 6:30. Welcome to the Tuesday, May 19th, 2026 Wrentham Select Board meeting. In accordance with Chapter 2 of the Acts of 2026, this Tuesday, May 19th, 2026, 6:30 p.m. of the Wrentham Select Board shall be conducted remotely. The public is invited to join via Zoom. There is login information on the town's website. As a preliminary matter, this is Select Board Chair Chris Gallo. Please permit me to confirm that all members and persons anticipated on the agenda are present and can hear me clearly. Members, when I call your name, please respond in the affirmative. Selectman Jim Anderson.
Anderson is here.
Selectman Bill Harrington.
Harrington here.
Selectman Roy Lamothe.
Moth here.
Okay. I like your new office, Roy. And Selectwoman Michelle Rouse.
Ross here.
Staff, when I call your name, please respond in the affirmative. Town Manager Mike King. It looks like he stepped out.
He's floating. He's here.
Okay.
Thank you.
But for the record, that is Assistant Town Manager Greg Enos, who's
Correct,
here. Yep. We have Executive Assistant Maya Matarazzo.
I'm here.
Maya, did I get that right?
Yeah, Matarazzo.
Matarazzo. I'll get it. I'm Italian, so I should have gotten that.
you.
And we have Amanda Vasopolo. Are you still with us? And remind me of your new title, please.
Present, and it is Administrative Services and Communications Manager.
So I'm going to ask you that about 300 more times, but just always have that ready for me. Thank you.
Looking forward
All right.
to it.
All right. So welcome, everybody. We've got a pretty active agenda. We're going to get right into it. And we're going to start by going to tab number 1. I am going to take a few things out of order due to a couple scheduling conflicts. But we're going to go to the announcements. And I'm going to ask our clerk, Selectman Harrington, to read the announcements into the record.
Yes, Mr. Chair. Join the Wrentham Open Space Committee on Saturday, June 6th at 9 a.m. at the Senior Center to learn about the importance of gardening with biodiversity. Learn about providing habitat for native pollinators, birds, and other essential wildlife, all while creating a beautiful garden. This event is open to all ages. The annual Memorial Day Parade and observance will be held on Monday, May 25th, starting at 10:30 a.m. The parade will begin at King Philip Plaza, head to the Wrentham Cemetery for remarks, and conclude at the Town Common for a roll call vote of veterans who did not return. The annual Stage 2 water ban is in effect starting May 1st to September 30th. Mandatory restrictions. Non-essential use is prohibited between 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. Please join the Wrentham Historical Commission for an observance honoring America's 250th anniversary on the Town Common starting at 5 p.m. on Friday, June 5th, 2026. The Springtown meeting will be held on June 1st, 2026 at King Philip High School. It will start at 7 p.m. Residents are encouraged to arrive earlier than start time to expedite the check-in process. A special election will be held on Monday, June 15th, 2026 at the Delaney Elementary School for the debt exclusion vote for the Roderick School Building Project. Polls open at 7 a.m. and close at 8 p.m. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Selectman Harrington. One other thing, not so much an announcement, but I just want to extend some sympathies on behalf of the board. As many of you have heard, Chief Tony Marino's father passed away this week, and the wake is actually right now in Mashpee from 4 to 7. Unfortunately, we had to have this meeting, but we do want to extend our deepest sympathies to the chief and his family. Thoughts and prayers with the chief and his family. So I just want to add that. And with that being said, let's go to tab number 2, approval of the minutes. At this time, the chair would entertain a motion to approve the May 2026 open session meeting minutes.
So moved.
Motion made by Selectman Anderson, seconded by Selectman Harrington. Any further discussion? Being none, we'll do a roll call vote. Selectwoman Rouse,
Yes.
Selectman Anderson,
Anderson's yes.
Selectman Harrington,
Harrington, yes.
Selectman Lamar,
Moth, yes.
Gallo, yes. Motion carries 5-0. We're gonna go to new business, but we're gonna take the Rice Complex Improvement Project update first. I'm being told that there's a scheduling conflict. So do we have with us Michael Moonen?
Yes, here.
Michael, so I'm told you have a scheduling conflict. We try to be as amenable as possible. We understand how this stuff works. We're going to bump you up. Can you give us an overview of, what we're trying to accomplish here, and why we're having you on this evening?
Yes, no, thank you so much. Yes, I have another ZBA meeting shortly after this, so I really appreciate you bumping us up on the agenda.
And Michael, if I'm correct, we also have Ray Palmer, the rec
Yes,
chair with us.
yes, and I don't know if Ray wants to. Ray, do you want to say something to start us off, or do you want me
Well,
to?
I could introduce you, Mike. Mike
Okay.
Monin is our chief engineer from CHA Consulting, and the town has hired CHA Consulting to provide engineering services for a build out of the Rice complex to replace the field space that we're going to be losing over at the Sweat complex based on the approval of the Roderick School expansion or relocation. So Mike has been working with us since January on designing the plans and providing the plans that we're going to be bidding on, or we've already bid on, and we'll be voting on June 1st town meeting.
Great. And
Yes.
Ray, just a quick note from the board. We appreciate all that you and your team do at Recreation. Recreation's a big, important part of our community. You've got a lot of support on this board, and we feel that recreation is a very important part of having a healthy community, attracting people, to our wonderful town of Wrentham, which obviously helps us all in our property values, which we all very much appreciate. So thank you for all your hard work, Ray. Keep it up.
Huge team
And
effort.
Mike, at this time, do you want to give us we ask for a high level presentation on, what the team is trying to accomplish?
Sure, sure. Yes, and thank you. Yeah, could I have permission to share my screen?
Yeah, we'll have
Yeah,
someone give
While they're
Mike.
doing that,
Yeah,
while they're
one
doing that,
moment.
yeah, okay, yeah. Sorry, Mr. Chair.
No, you good. I think she
Okay,
said
yeah.
that
So
you were
I'm
doing that
Michael
right now,
Moonen.
so
I'm
it
the
should-
project manager with CHA Consulting, as Ray mentioned, and as he mentioned, we've been working on this project with the committee and town departments over the last 5 months, I'd say. And he did, Ray did mention we did just bid the project, and we did receive favorable bids. And let's see. I still can't share. Oh, wait, there we go. Yep. Thank you so much. Um, okay. Um,
we
okay.
can see that, Mike. If that helps, we can see that.
Oh, you can see my screen. Okay. Is that my screen?
I'm looking at the complex right now. Yep.
Oh, okay. Okay. So no, thank you. So the improvements, this was an adaptation of the master plan that was completed I'd say early in the millennium. However, certain elements were installed since that master plan. So we were working with those and working around those to add additional fields to the complex. So basically over there on the plan, the left of the plan, we are taking that existing natural grass field, and we are cutting in two Little League baseball, softball fields that would be, similar to the two existing fields that are there now. So it completes the cloverleaf for the facility per the master plan. So those fields would, the implementation of those fields works really well because we really don't have to regrade the outfields or anything. We can just cut in the infields regrade a little bit around the infields, and then install the fencing and dugout areas and so forth, without much land disturbance. And that gets us to new Little League baseball, softball fields. And there is proposed lighting like throughout the complex. And I think the plan is with the bids we did receive is to light at least one of those fields. So then the other major part of the project is a complete regrading of that southeastern corner of the site to install 3 full-size rectangular fields. We always just say soccer fields because they're the largest field. So they would fit 3 full-size soccer fields. And then you could actually put several other youth soccer fields overlaid over those, similar to what you do now with your other large field. And those have proposed lighting, but they are right now slated for future. But we do have in the overall project in the base bid to put in the infrastructure for the lighting for those fields. And then the other major part of the project is to put in the service road, the access drive down to Dedham Street. It completes that connection between the park and Dedham Street. And it's proposed to just use that drive as access to a parking lot, which is F. And that's a 120. It's kind of like an overflow parking lot for the new fields that are being put in. However, the remainder of that drive would just be used for maintenance access or emergency entrance or egress, should it be needed. It also could be used as an events exit area. If the park is pretty crowded, you could have people exit the facility through that drive. And then that I think that's the major part of the project. And I could see if Ray, we also have Chuck Aldisberger with us from the commission. So I don't know if Ray or Chuck would like to add anything.
I'll jump in here. Thanks, Mike.
Okay, thank you.
Ray,
One thing,
go
if
ahead.
you look, I'm sorry.
No, I just said, go ahead.
Oh, thank you. So if you look at C in the middle of the cloverleaf here, that's the location of a future restroom and concession stand area. And we're installing the piping for that so that when we are able to install restrooms in the future, we can put the leach field by I out here on the top left and then just build everything and we won't have to disturb the whole area. And as Mike mentioned, the multi-purpose fields are all going to be pre-conduit installed for wiring, but the wiring and the lighting is not part of this contract. We had 2 add alts as part of the bid process. The first one was to light field number 2, and the second one was to light field number 1, depending on how the bids came in. And it appears that we're going to be able to install the lighting for field number 2, and we're beginning to petition the CPC for the lighting to complete field number 1. So we'll hopefully be able to recover a lot of the revenue that we're going to be losing by losing our lighted fields over at Sweat, which we count on as a very large portion of our revenue for recreation maintenance. And we use that recreation maintenance budget at all 3 rec facilities, this Rice Complex, the Sweat Fields, and also Sweat Beach. So if we can maintain that income generation, then we're less of a drain to the town budget.
Right. That makes a lot of sense. Obviously, this is pending the school gets approved, because if the school vote doesn't get approved, then you don't lose your fields at Sweat, correct?
That's true, but I believe we're right now we're independent of that decision.
What does that mean?
As far as I understand, we're asking for this project separately, not contingent on the school project.
Oh, okay. Um, okay. Interesting. So, Ray, let's talk quickly before I turn it over to the board. I know Chuck has his hands up, but I have one more question. You talked about bid pricing. Can you share with the board how did the pricing come in?
Well, I don't have the bid results in front of me, but our estimate with CHA was about 2.975, and I know between the base bid for the field install and the conduit and the sprinkler systems and the netting and the fencing and all, we were just about that. I think we needed to go into the recreation revolving account by several $1,000s, but Jeff Plimpton seemed to think that that was going to be doable. So we'll be able to complete the 5 fields and surrounding work, and then lighting of field number 2 with what we have available or budgeted anyway right now.
Okay. Thank you for that presentation and commentary. Chuck, Mr. Adelsberger, you'd like to address the board?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. I just wanted to credit CHA. Mike and his crew did a great job with this design. They had a really strict schedule. Obviously, we had a deadline of the June 1st town meeting, and I think Mike and his crew did a great job. And I also want to credit Ray, because he was the one that was on this the whole time. So I appreciate your help on that, Ray. And we would appreciate the Board of Selectmen's support of this project on June 1.
All right. Thank you very much, Chuck. Thank you for all you do for us in the community as well. I'm going to open up the select board members at this time for comments and questions. And we're going to start with Vice Chair Rouse.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I've seen this plan prior. I'm glad to see that Recreation was able to pull this together considering the circumstances with the Roderick School. I have no further comments or questions, and hope things go well for you guys.
Excellent. Selectman Anderson.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. No, I like the design, and I think it's a project that's long overdue, and I would fully support this.
Excellent. Selectman Harrington.
No comments at this time, Mr. Chair.
Okay. Selectman Lamoth.
I support this. As I look at this, I'm seeing the parking lot and all these new soccer fields. That has to be the majority of the expense that you're looking for. What proportion is the baseball fields versus the new soccer fields and parking lot of this request?
Let's see, I don't have the cost estimate like open in front of me, but I would say that the baseball fields without the lighting are about $700,000-800,000 worth of the project. And the rest is the earthwork for the full-size fields and the driveway and the parking lot.
Yeah, thank you. That's all.
Just from memory.
Mr. Lamoth, it does look like we're just getting 5 fields for $3 million, but there's an awful lot of side work as far as fencing and conduit installation below grade and, future septic fields, but we're lining the pathway to those right now. There's netting protecting balls from those new fields going into this new parking area. That whole new access road is all being dug up and created. So there's a lot of little things that are contributing to this that make this project what it is. So
I love the project, don't get me wrong, but the school is, as Chairman Gallo was kind of saying, hey, this is dependent on the school. Well, it isn't. We're losing 2 fields, but we're doing a whole lot more at the Rice Complex than just replacing the 2 fields we're losing. And so I just wanted to understand what the field, the baseball field loss or cost to replace would be. So that's all I was looking for. And thank
Sure.
you for that.
If I could add though, we're losing lighted fields at Sweat, and we don't have any lighted fields at the Rice Complex now. So that's one of the main things. And when we install these two new fields, baseball fields, we're not actually needing to replace the multi-purpose space that they use, but we actually have to replace the multi-purpose fields that we're losing at Sweat, which is a lot bigger than the space we have over right now.
Mhm.
So it's the lighted combination with the bigger fields. So
Yeah.
we're actually just trying to make ourselves whole again, and with the school being placed there. So
Makes sense. I would say have that. Make sure you have this. You Ray, do you plan? Obviously plan on being at town meeting, correct?
I thought I'd swing by. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you should. I think that'd be a pretty important idea. And I would have this, these comments ready because I'm sure you're going to be asked questions similar to these. So yeah, appreciate the support, appreciate the effort. I wish you guys the best. You've got support from this board. So we'll see you at town meeting. And without any further questions or comments, we're going to move on to the next agenda item.
Yes.
Everyone okay?
Thank you.
All right.
Yeah. Thank you for the time.
Everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time. Thanks for coming on. All right, next agenda item. Let's go back to tab number 3. Tab number 3, we have a special event permit application, Lake Pearl Fireworks on June 7, 2026. We have documentation in our packet. With attendees, it looks like I'm looking at Juliana LaRusso, as well as I see her handsome young father in the background, I believe as well, Mr. Jerry LaRusso. So Juliana and Jerry, welcome to our meeting. Would you mind giving the board a high-level explanation of what we're trying to accomplish with this special permit?
Sure. We are having a 100th birthday party down at the Belvedere, the new building on the lake. And we will be having a fireworks show. The permit has been put in place with the firework company, as well as the fire watch has been scheduled. I was told to place the special event permit because last year there was a fireworks show that we did not put on, but I guess it caused some traffic and public safety concern. It's my understanding that all firework permits are publicly posted. So I think that drew some attention from the media last year, and word got around that there was going to be this fireworks show. So we're prepared. Like I said, we have the fire watch. It is a private party, obviously, that we're hosting, but willing and able to schedule a police detail if that would ease some concerns if word does get out about traffic or anything.
That's great. So is it your grandmother turning 100 years old?
Yeah, his mother.
So Jerry's mom's turning 100. What, that is something to celebrate, huh?
She's amazing.
That's very interesting. So Mike King, I just want to, anyone listening, I just want to set them at ease that we do have a process in place, right? We don't just willy-nilly approve these things. Juliana and Jerry have gone through the process. We've obviously, the fire department's been involved. They ordered the fire watch. We've talked to any and all of the relevant department heads, Mike King, including your office, to make sure that, everything with Lake Pearl and the Russos are good with the town. And I'm assuming that they wouldn't even be on this meeting with us if all those boxes weren't already checked, correct?
That's correct. Juliana has been, meeting all the requests of the public safety departments. They've commented on the application, and she has responded. And one of the requests that did come through that she mentioned is the coordination with the police chief for possible details, which she has agreed to.
Awesome. I will say this though, just so Jerry and Juliana know, this board has no control over the fire watch. So God forbid there's a storm, something crazy that happens. Please note that we have no control to overrule Tony Marito in the fire department, because I will tell you that in the past, an incident happened, and someone was calling me asking me to call Chief Marino and tell him to let the fireworks happen. Unfortunately, I don't have that authority. Actually, fortunately, I do not have that authority. But we're hoping and praying for clear skies and calm weather, so you can have, well, pending the approval tonight, a great fireworks display for your 100-year-old grandmother, who I'm sure really deserves it. So with that being said, I'm going to open it up to my fellow board members to see if anybody on the board has any questions, comments, or concerns for the LaRussos. We'll start with Vice Chair Rouse.
No questions at this time.
Okay, Selectman Anderson.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, I know the Lusso family has done fireworks down there in the past. Never been an issue. I would fully support this.
And just for the record, Selectman Anderson is the former police chief, so he has intimate knowledge about this stuff. Okay, thanks, Selectman Anderson. Selectman Lamothe?
Good to go. Thank you.
And Selectman Harrington?
No questions, Mr. Chair. Congratulations on the 100th birthday, and look forward to viewing them from my house. I should be able to see them.
And I'm going to be going to Bill's house to watch them. So,
There you go.
all right. So, Mike, do we need to, let me see. Okay. So yes, at this time, any further questions or comments from the board or town administration before I go to a motion? Seeing none. At this time, the chair would entertain a motion to approve the special event permit application for fireworks at Lake Pearl on June 7, 2026. From 6 p.m. until 9 p.m., pending good standing with public safety and contingent upon the applicant notifying all abutters. Motion made by Selectman Anderson, second by Selectman Harrington. Any further discussion? Being none, we'll do a roll call vote. Selectwoman Rouse?
Yes.
Selectman Anderson?
Anderson's a yes.
Selectman Harrington?
Harrington, yes.
Selectman Lamothe?
Yes.
Gallo, yes. Motion carries 5-0. Congratulations. Happy birthday to Grandma.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Bye-bye. Have a good night. Okay, let's move on. We're going to get a Memorial Day update. So as everyone knows, we love our veterans in this community and this board especially. And, we take pride in honoring them, especially the veterans that made the ultimate sacrifice for our community. So Memorial Day Parade is very important to us. And with that, we have Jerry McGovern with us, who's going to walk through the ceremony events that we have planned for this Memorial Day. Mr. McGovern, welcome to the meeting, and the floor is yours.
Thank you for having me. As Mr. Harrington mentioned in the announcements, the ceremonies and the parade do occur on the 25th of May. That's the Memorial Day actual. The parade begins at 10:30 from Randall Road, and there's a sequence of 3 different events. There's the parade, there are the events that happen at the cemetery, and then we conclude with honors being rendered at the Common. You have in your packet, I believe, the order of march and the sequence of events. I'm not going to read through all of that, but just for a few highlights, most everything is as it's been for the past few years, probably the past 25 years, at least that I know of. But a couple of things that we've added this year is the parade will be led by a mounted officer from the police department. We have a color guard from the United States Marine Corps Reserve from Providence, Rhode Island. And then we'll have 2 other color guards in the parade, one from the veterans from the American Legion, and the police have an honor guard now, so they will be dispersed throughout the parade. We are hoping to have a special recognition of Centennial vets at the cemetery. 2 residents from the All-American Assisted Living Facility who are over 100 and who had participated in very key military operations, but I don't have that confirmed yet. The keynote speaker will be Lieutenant Colonel Laurel Smith, a Wrentham resident, and we'll have the prayers and the singers as we usually do. And then the last part of it is that we will go to the Common after the events at the cemetery occur. We'll render honors, and then the final part of that will be that once the parade has been dismissed, we will have a short rededication of the Mason Monument at the corner of Common Street and South Street. Walker B. Mason was the first Wrentham resident who was killed in World War I. There used to be a plaque, bronze plaque, that commemorated that that individual and was at that corner. And over the years, I guess through accidents hitting the fountain that's there and a few other events, that plaque kind of disappeared. It was found not too long ago, and we're going to rededicate that and place that plaque. The other key things that are probably good to know is that we have a weather plan in place. We have not usually had to do this, but it looks like right now that there could be a little iffy on Monday. The keystone to that event, that weather plan is that we will hold, if it's very bad weather, we have permission to hold the abbreviated ceremony in the the original Congregational Church. The rest of that kind of depends on whether or not the weather still allows us to march. The kind of the long pole in the tent is the KP band, who may not be able to march if the rain is such that it provides them a problem, but may still be light enough to allow others to march. Still kind of working through that, and I'll finalize that plan with the rest of my American Legion members on Thursday night. But we have that plan in place just in case that happens. And I just wanted to confirm that what we want to do, if we have to do a weather plan, is that we'll make the call by 9:30 Monday morning to make a decision about how we do that. And then I have the whole list of everybody needs to be notified. For this purposes here, I'd like to confirm with Mr. King that I will notify him second on the list after I notify the Congregational Church. And everybody else, I think, is on the list of singers and clergy and musicians that will need to be notified. And I think that kind of gives the overview. If I have any questions.
Yeah, thanks for the update, Jerry, and thank you for your service, obviously, and thank you for coordinating this with the weather plan. I know this board, will be there, rain or shine. So please keep us posted, or at least Mike King posted, and I'm sure Mike will disseminate the updates and information to us. So at this time, I'll open it up to the other board members to see if anyone has any questions or comments for Mr. McGovern, starting with Selectwoman Rouse.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. No, just Jerry, thank you again for your service and for always coordinating this very special event for our veterans here in town and elsewhere. So thank you.
Thank you. Just to be clear, I'm just the guy whose name's on the top of the page, but we have a lot of help from not only the American Legion, which I'm a member of, and I'm kind of the ceremonial officer for the Legion here, but musicians, the singers, the band, the clergy, everybody it's in the Congregational Church. Pastor Ken there has just been fantastic about allowing us to do things in that facility if we need to be. So there's a whole lot of people who get a whole lot of praise for what they do. Thank you.
Yeah, I agree.
We agree and understand, Jerry. You happen to be the one presenting to us, so you can relay our thanks to everybody, but we'll be sure to note that it takes a village to pull an event like this off, as talented as you are. So Selectman Anderson, any comments or questions?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. No, I look forward to this every year. As you know, I've participated in this parade for probably well over 40 some odd years. And to me, it's one of the highlights of the year for me.
I couldn't agree more, Jim. And thank you for that. 47 years. I thought you were only 47 years old.
Thank you.
He was in the baby carriage in the first parade.
Yeah, there you go. Selectman Harrington.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. So, yeah, Jerry, thank you to Ian, your group, for putting this together, and look forward to marching with you on Monday. Thank you.
And Selectman Lamoth, anything to add?
No questions. I echo what Michelle shared. Thank you.
Great. Please keep us updated on the weather plan, Mr. McGovern. And again, have a wonderful evening. Thanks for the update.
Yeah, keep your fingers crossed for a good day on Monday. I think in the 25 years I've lived here, we've only had one rain day on Memorial Day, and so.
All right, we'll do so. Okay, moving on. We're going to go to tab number 5. We have a Tri-County Regional Vocational Technical School update. And I probably should have said this at the beginning. So it's this board's goal as part of our strategic plan, as well as our goals with the town manager, Mike King, and his staff, to increase communication from this board with our residents, with the different boards and committees that serve our town and our residents. And one of these is keeping in touch with, our Tri-County Vocational Technical, delegation. We're very lucky to have John Genero, that serves as the liaison to the select board for that, for the Tri-County VOTEC. And I remember when we appointed you, John, one of the things that we both agreed on was that it was important for you to come back, minimally once a year, if not twice or three times, to give us an update. So I'm very honored that you reached out and wanted to provide the board with this update. So thank you for doing so. Thank you for taking the initiative, and welcome to the select board meeting. We'd love to get a high-level update from you on what's going on with Tri-County, what's going on with the lottery, what's going on with enrollment, anything else you think the board should know about, and how we can then, use that information to help you continue to provide, just an amazing education for these kids that go through the VOTEC.
Yeah, absolutely. Can you hear me okay?
We can.
Excellent. So, you mind if I share my screen?
Please do. Can we give them access? Please and thank you.
Yes, 1 second.
Thanks, Maya.
All right. Can you see the screen?
It's coming up right now, John. Yep. There you go.
Great. So yeah, thank you. Been doing the school committee with Tri-County since last August, I think was my first school committee meeting. So it's been a great experience, and it's a very good team on the school committee from the 13 sending communities that make up Tri-County. So wanted to touch on a couple topics tonight. One is going to be the lottery that we just did. That's gotten a lot of mixed publicity. Lots of people don't like it, including myself. But it was quite an arduous decision that the school committee had to undertake in the fall to approve the lottery process. None of us wanted to do it. There was not a single school committee member that wanted to vote for it. We delayed the vote 3 times to the point where we risked losing grant funding for the school simply because none of us believed in it. The lottery is extremely flawed. And I would encourage anybody to go and sign the petition on the Mass Vocational website to abolish the lottery process. So it's we did have to accept it, and we did go through with it. It was a public lottery that was done, and the results are as you can see here. So this is for our incoming 9th grade students that'll come in the fall. We had 36 Wrentham applicants. Out of that, we had 24 seats available. When we did the first pass, 5 of those applicants declined, which leaves a wait list of 7. We did have 2 that applied post-lottery, and so they've been added to the wait list. So the way that the school identifies the number of seats available, the easiest way to explain it is if you take the total number of students in all of the towns and then divide the number of students in Wrentham by that number, that gives you the percentage of the available seats that Wrentham would get. So for example, if there were 1,000 students, Wrentham had 100, we would get 10% of the available seats at Tri-County. There are 1,000 available seats at Tri-County for all 4 grades. And so for the incoming class, Wrentham had 24. This chart kind of shows an overview of the different towns, between 2024 and 2025. And Wrentham currently has 84 students enrolled as of October 2025 at Tri-County. And this gives the breakdown of the different schools. So obviously some of the bigger towns get more seats. There are towns that don't send their full allotment to Tri-County. Towns like Sherburne, Medfield, I think Walpole didn't have a wait list this year. And a lot of those seats will then get recycled on that same percentage basis. So it is possible that we could have more than the standard allotment, but that does fluctuate a little bit. any questions so far on lottery things?
Sean, I'm going to stop you right there. So do you
Yeah.
mind just giving the board and anyone listening, you mentioned you passionately against the lottery. How did we do
Yes.
it before, and which way do you and the other school committee members want it to be done, and why why are we doing a lottery?
Okay, so why we're doing the lottery, and I might make a mistake here, because I was not part of that decision, but the lottery was driven down from DESE based on a misassumption that that all vocational schools were not equitable to the sending communities. In other words, we were taking students and disenfranchising certain groups that we're trying to send students. Upon further analysis done by all of the vocational schools in Massachusetts, it was found that only one school district was in fact not 100% aligned with its sending communities, and that was New Bedford. All other vocational programs were exactly aligned across all demographics with their sending communities. And so that's something really important to note, is that DESE made a bad call. And everybody knew it, except they're never going to admit fault.
Yeah.
So we had to move forward, right? So the way we used to do school acceptance was it was merit-based. So you had to have good grades, have good attendance, go for an in-person interview, right? And it was a real interview. You had to act as a professional, meet with the team at Tri-County, and convince them that you were going to be a good fit for the school. Now, unfortunately, it's gone to a blind lottery. There are a few different factors that can influence the lottery. So there are 4 criteria. One criteria is called awareness. And every student in the Commonwealth got awareness because DESE sent out a notification at some point and claimed all students are aware. So that's one, I call it one lottery ticket per student. The next one is behavior. Behavior in DESE's eyes is that a potential student must not have committed a felony on school grounds. If you pass that bar, you are considered eligible. You can have committed a felony off school grounds and still be considered eligible. So the school committee at Tri-County did not acknowledge the behavior criteria. We did not give a lottery ticket for behavior because honestly, everybody's going to get that lottery ticket. The next one is attendance. So normal attendance for chronic truancy is considered more than 10 days per year, or I think it's 10 days per year or 10 days total. It's per year. And the DESE requirement for vocational was 27 unexcused absences. So this really rubbed the committee quite the wrong way because we're trying to create employable adults. And if you can't show up to work 27 times without a reason, you're not employable.
I'd be fired. That's for sure.
I think everybody here would. So, again, we did not acknowledge the attendance requirement as a lottery ticket. The 4th criteria was what we call interest. And this was one that we did have a little bit of control over. So none of the interest requirements could be graded. So what we did was set some criteria around them, not graded, but just a minimum threshold. So students would either have to come in for an in-person interview, generate a short video essay, or write an essay. They could not be graded. It was purely, did you check the box? So most students did come in. We had an interview day. Most students did come in for the interview day. It was a simple, hello, my name is so-and-so. I'd like to come to Tri-County. Thank you. And they left. And then, but like the essay could be, I like Tri-County 1,000 times, and that's good enough. I don't know how many videos we got, but every student in the district got 2 lottery tickets. So as long as one of those lottery tickets was pulled, they received a spot. They then had 10 days to accept or decline the opportunity to go to Tri-County. If they declined, their spot was recycled to the next person on the wait list in that town. If that town did not have a wait list, it was put back into the pool and reallocated at that percentage basis to other towns. So Plainville, for example, had an abundance of applicants. They had 54, I believe, for a total of 18 seats. So it was very competitive for those students to get in. So we are still working through the wait list. It'll still fluctuate, all the way until school starts in the fall. You'll have students that drop out because they get into a different school or they get into a private school or, move out of the area, et cetera. The other thing that has changed in this is that we are really no longer accepting out of district students, which is some of these towns you see on the bottom here, Attleboro, Bellingham, Milford, Taunton, Upton. In the past, when we had extra seats available, we would take students from other towns outside the district. We are no longer doing that.
Does the board support that decision, John?
Absolutely. Well, because the school's full. The school's full with the sending communities. We don't need to take.
So there's no excess. There's no capacity. Okay. Yep.
Correct.
Okay.
Did I catch everything?
No, you did awesome. And I could ask you 10 more questions just about that. I'd say let's move on. Well, I do want to keep this high level, and then I do want to open it up to the rest of the board. So I apologize for taking a little bit, but I really didn't understand the lottery thing. So please continue to move forward. Let us know what else is going on, and I'll let the board members chime in momentarily.
Sure. So we're going to jump into some building information. So as everybody knows, I think we're building a new school. The school had a total estimated cost of $285 million. Of that, it's broken up into what's coming from grants and what's coming from the districts. So the state's kicking in the $102 million. The districts are kicking in $183. We are running under budget, which is great. So we did a lot of very articulate financial planning around the school. And I was actually surprised when I found out that we are running $10 million or $9 million under budget, which is great because some of that money will come back to the towns and then some of it will go back to the state. So the MSBA is going to take back 5.1 and then the rest of it's going to be returned to the sending communities. So that's great. With a project this big, to be under budget is impressive. Most projects don't run that way. So looking at enrollment, and this is just looking back almost 10 years, this shows the enrollment fluctuation over the years. And you can see, just after COVID, we had a decline in enrollment at Tri-County. That's when we were taking more of those out of district students. But for the last 2 years and then the new year going forward, we're at full capacity.
That's great.
This chart shows the progression of the town of Wrentham. So we've been sending more students every year for the last 10 years to Tri-County as a community. And I'm personally responsible for 3 of them. All right. And then getting into just contribution analysis. So this is what the state sets. So for example, in our new year, we're going to have a total of 84. In this year, we had a total of 82. So our increase of students is going up by 2. The takeaway from this slide is that our contribution in Wrentham is only going up by what the state minimum demands. So the school is not charging Wrentham any more than what the state requires the school to charge Wrentham. So I think that is the big takeaway for this piece, is that we are getting there's a capital and debt assessment, which is a reduction. We did have an assessment above the minimum. They netted themselves out. So I think that's the takeaway from this slide, is that whatever the state is saying we have to fund, that's what we're funding and no more. So that's a good takeaway here.
Yep.
And then next slide here goes through just a high level schedule of where we're at with the school building project. So this school building project started well before 2021. That's when we hired the firm to come in and do the design. Then in 2023, we did all of our district approvals, right? That was the votes that we did to approve the funding for the site. Wrentham was one of the first towns to do, I think it's called the debt exclusion, to fund the project for the town of Wrentham. So we were one of the first towns to vote that through. Then we started construction, right? So in 2025, we broke ground and really started moving on things. And I'll tell you, every time I go, I see the progression. We toured it in January, and it's going to be a very nice space for the students. The first students to see the school will be the incoming class of 2028. So when the students come in the fall of 27, sorry. When they come in the fall of 27, they'll walk into the new school. So that'll be impressive. And the final thing I had here was, so we have this tri-county building.com. This is the website for the school. And so this gives some nice construction updates of where the school is at. So if we look at May, and this is a public website, anybody can go to this anytime they like. And it'll give kind of a nice overview of, let's see, oops, that's the end. So this is what the school looks like today.
Am I the only one that can't see this? I can't.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't automatically share when you go to another application.
Okay. Hang on one second. There we go. This should work. Sorry, I'm used to Teams.
That's okay.
I just thought I thought it was me, John.
Now we can see it.
Yeah, there you go. Now we see it.
Now you see it, right? Okay.
Yep.
So this is a picture of what the school looks like today. In its construction. So the outer skin, the roof, all that stuff is done at this point. They are now working a lot on the interior finishes of the school. Let's see if there's any other good pictures in this one. Yeah. So this just shows some of the progression along the way. One of our school committee members is he's the representative for Norfolk, and he is the chair of the building committee, and he's actually on site every single day with this construction project. He's very involved, and it really is doing a great job progressing this school along. So it's going to be a fantastic space for the students when it's done. Let me see if there's
yeah, that's very impressive. And John, what I'll say while you're looking for what you want to look for, I'm gonna just in the spirit of keeping things moving, I'm gonna open it up to my board. I think you did a great job, great presentation, great update. Love to see you again in the next few months or quarter or 2 quarters to give us an update. But I do want to open it up to the board members so they can ask questions or make any comments. Oh, do you want to hit that fly through? Is that what you're trying to do?
Well, I just wanted to show what the renderings look like.
So that's
these are what
finish elevation.
Correct. Yep. So this is what the school is going to look like. These are going to be the new fields that are out front. So the current school, it sits right in front of the old one or the new one. So the current school sits right here. There'll be parking lots and fields. This is the commons area. This is the outside outside area that's right in the middle of the school. So it sits right in the middle of the structure. And this is also where they have the early childhood playground here, because we run an active daycare facility out of the school for our early childhood vocational students.
Yeah.
So they, if anybody didn't know that, they run a full-time daycare facility out of there. This is renderings of what the inside of the daycare would look like. This is a really neat space here. These seats, so this is an auditorium, but the auditorium can transform. So these seats all slide back into the wall. They collapse and slide back into the wall. So you can have, for example, wrestling tournaments here. This is where they would do their wrestling tournaments under the spotlight. So that's pretty neat. Really nice gym facility, locker rooms. This is a commons area. So this is a really neat space with tiered seating. You can sit on large tiered benches to have lunch. So yeah, it'll be a neat space for the students. The vocational space is fantastic. That's all in these areas up here, these single level areas. This is where all the shops are. So yeah, it's quite the space.
Nice.
Gorgeous.
Beautiful.
I would hope so for $200 million. But it is
Almost 300 million.
yeah, almost $300 million. I think it's nicer than my college. But with that being said, I'm going to open up to the board members for comments. Great job, John. And we'll start with Selectwoman Rouse.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. John, first and foremost, thank you for your time and commitment to this committee. It's great to see such efforts going into the vocational school. I did have a couple questions. Do you
Sure.
know, are we seeing an increase in applications?
Absolutely. Across the board. All towns, we had, I'm going to mess this up. I believe we had over 500 applications across the sending communities for
Great.
250 seats.
It's excellent. That's great.
Um,
As I
I mean,
anticipated, and I'm
yeah.
sure that's going to continue. Will the new building have the capacity to increase enrollment, or will it be staying? No, it's going to remain as is. Okay.
Yeah, that was a question I actually had at the one of the information sessions with Desi. Is I said, why aren't you increasing the size? They control the size of the building, not the school. Desi says this is how big you can build it.
Right.
And that was one of my questions. Is I said, with the interest in trades and the push for all of this, why aren't? And their answer was, well, the data says it's not growing.
Okay.
Well, anyone that
it kind of goes with their lottery system that didn't quite work.
Yep.
Keep getting the word out there regarding the petition and the lottery system, because I was glad to see that the school committee was pushing back on that. And let's do right by our students and those that are interested in attending. So again, thank you. No further questions.
Yeah, great points. And I would say too, anyone that's tried to call a plumber, electrician, or HVAC person, a landscape person, name it, in the past 3 years, I think you'd all agree that we need more capacity at schools like that one. So anyway, we'll move on. Selectman Anderson, any questions or comments?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. Just want to thank John for all his work on this. I thought it was very informative, and I've got no further comments.
Excellent. Selectman Harrington?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. So, John, yeah, great presentation. And thank you for that explanation on the lottery system, because I quite honestly was pretty confused over it. And I got to agree with you. We got to get the word out and see if that can be changed. But thank you. Appreciate all you do.
Thank you.
Well said. Selectman Lamothe?
John, I echo everything Bill and Michelle and everyone have said so far. Great job. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, John, keep in touch with us and let us know how our board can continue to support, help out, and please keep us updated.
Will do. Thank you for having me.
Thanks, John.
Thanks a lot for coming. Have a great night.
You too.
Okay, let's move to tab number 6. Tab number 6 is an update from our Conservation Commission. We have a Chairman Leo Immonen, Vice Chair Julie Garland. They're going to provide the board with an update from the Conservation Commission. Welcome, Leo and Julie. As you hopefully have known or heard, as part of our strategic initiative, as we mentioned before we spoke to John, is to try to have better lines of communication between our board and the other boards and commissions in town, better serve our community, all 11,000 residents. We've been trying to chip away at the larger boards and committees in town. And being an important one, we thought it prudent to have you on. So we'd like to welcome you to the meeting. We'd like you to give us a high level update on, what's going on with the Conservation Commission, things that you're working on, things you think we need to be aware of, and things that we might be able to help out with. And with that being said, I'll turn it over to Chairman Immonen.
Well, I have been chair of the Conservation Commission for 18 of the 19 years I have been on the commission. I have been fortunate to work with dedicated professionals, Conservation Agent Darrell Luce and Land Use Specialist Heather Ledbetter, and extremely knowledgeable volunteers. We are especially blessed to have Darrell Luce serving the town as our conservation agent. He demands that every engineer provides the commission with clear, workable plans. He has seen what works and what does not work. His attention to detail has helped protect all wells and wetlands in Wrentham. Our clean water benefits everyone. I strongly urge you to press to hire him for the proposed full-time position with Norfolk. Our volunteer commissioners are members of the Massachusetts Association of Conservation Commissioners, who have provided extensive training for all of us. Every commissioner has completed a fundamentals course consisting of 8 separate 2.5-hour sessions. We have one of the best trained commissions in the Commonwealth. In addition, we attend a full-day conference in Holy Cross every year to keep our skills current. In total, our commission members have served the town of Wrentham for 73 years. To further this history of extensive service, I strongly urge you to reappoint Julie Garland for another 3-year term. Her dedication, intelligence, and ability to see every project through to completion has contributed greatly to the accomplishments of our commission. I also want to publicly thank Delana Reardon for her 12 years of service on the commission. She'll be sorely missed. Fortunately for the town, Brenda Ali has offered to serve on the commission. I have interviewed her, and I am convinced that she will become a valuable member. Do you have any questions for me or for Julie?
Mr. Eminem, thank you for that excellent history lesson, as well as the credentials of our committee. No one doubted the fact that we've got a very knowledgeable commission. I think the purpose of the evening is for you to provide us with a high-level update on what's going on with the Conservation Commission, what you're working on, things that you think we should be aware of for that might affect our 11,000 residents, and how we can work together on some of those things that you feel are important.
Yeah, I was unclear what my purpose was tonight. I just saw the word update, so I chose to make sure people knew what the commission is and who we are.
That's fine. I'll ask, does Vice Chair Garland have anything she'd like to add regarding an actual update for the board?
Sure. So we have been working on, Leo and Daryl, the commission as a whole, have been reviewing the Red Dam notice of intent and that process, which would, let the town move forward with repairing that dam. We have also been following along with the Redbird farm development, and we've received a lot of feedback about that from residents who are concerned about the tree clearing and nesting birds. And of course, the DPW project is a big. We've also received some feedback about that and how it's affected Trout Pond in this moment. So,
great. Anything else that you think the board members need to know before we open it up to the other board members to ask any questions or comments? I know one thing that I've been hearing a lot about, maybe one or both of you can comment on this, this Enbridge pipeline, the expansion. Talk to us about, from the Conservation Commission's perspective, what effect that has, on residents, on, our, the environment, what's the board's, and I'm not asking you to speak on behalf of the board, but we have the chair and the vice chair. What is your opinion on that particular project and how it could impact, the residents of Wrentham?
At this point, things are extremely preliminary. All they have done at this point is done a survey of the land to determine what is the status of where the pipes are. And they're doing this process throughout the entire miles of the pipeline. When we received the request, it was very ambiguous in terms of what was expected. When they explained to us that that's all they were doing, we went ahead and said, go ahead and do the survey. We have not seen any plans, and as such, without plans in front of us, I hesitate to make any sort of comment in terms of what its impacts will be, since I simply do not know.
Sure. I would ask you then, I know from talking to residents, that's something that I hear support and I hear not support for it. So as this develops, we'd appreciate updates from you, from your perspective, and from the Conservation Commission's perspective, so that it's just good for us to hear perspectives so that we can continue to update our, all of our 11,000 residents who we may come in contact with.
We can certainly do that.
Thank you very much. I'm going to open it up to the other board members at this time and see if anyone has any other questions or comments. And we'll start with Selectwoman Rouse. You're on mute.
Sorry about that. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Julie and Leo, good to see you this evening. Thank you for your contributions on the Conservation Commission. I have no further questions at this time.
Excellent. Selectman Anderson.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. So a question for either Leo or Julie on this. What is the status on Red Dam?
On Red Dam? I'd like to defer the answer to that to Daryl, since he's been working very closely with the applicant. Daryl, would you, if it's okay with you, Mr. Chairman?
I appreciate that, Mr. Eminem. Go ahead, Daryl.
Okay, thank you. Right now, they're still in the application process. It sits mostly with the state. There's various intertwined things there because of the Natural Heritage and Endangered Species Program, in particular bridled shiner, and some type of mussel that's in a shellfish in the water. They have to prepare a management plan for the shellfish. And I believe once they get that done, they can come back to us for the order of conditions. There's also a water quality certificate and Chapter 91. These are all permits that are done through the state. Those are done after we issue our order of conditions. So first of all, the endangered species, then us, and then the rest of the state requirements. The dam was last repaired, I believe, back in the early 90s. I was around for it, but when exactly has faded from my memory. And it has a number of issues with it. The state doesn't like seeing trees on dams for the reason that they fall and can then uproot and cause failure of the earth embankment part of the dam. And that right now is still under review. I've got a response to comments that I sent to Pear Corporation a short while back, and I'm reviewing that plan. I just got it today, in fact, and I'll work with them to come up with something that works for the town.
Thank you, Dal. Much appreciated. Yeah, no more questions, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Selectman Anderson. Selectman Harrington.
No questions at this time, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Thank you. Selectman Lamothe.
No further questions, Mr. Chair.
All right. So Leo and Julie, thank you so much for being with us, and Daryl as well. Thank you so much for being with us this evening. Please continue to keep us updated on this project or any other projects that you think the board needs to be aware of and updated on. And appreciate all your service. As you mentioned, a lot of dedicated years of service. So thank you very much. Have a wonderful evening.
Thank you for having us present. We appreciate being here.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. As we move on, we're going to get tab number 7. So just so the board knows, we were supposed to have an update on the 250th anniversary update with Gina Solaris. And we were told there might be some health issues. Mike, did we ever get an update if the vice chair was going to be able to attend, and speak on the behalf of the board of the committee?
Mr. Chairman, I did reach out and email Gina. Unfortunately, I did not get a response from her directly as to whether she would be able to substitute with the vice chair. I know this is somewhat last minute notice.
Yeah, you know what we're going to do then? Mike, I'd like you to send a follow-up email stating that unfortunately, we can reschedule. I know our next meeting is what, June
2nd, Mr. Chair.
And the event is when?
June 5th.
Okay, so what I'd like to do is extend an offline meeting with yourself, myself, and Selectwoman Rouse to see if an update is needed before the June 2nd meeting, and we'll do everything in our power to accommodate that request. And obviously, we'll market the event appropriately, and obviously try to be there as well. Mike, is that something that you could facilitate?
Absolutely.
All right, so we're going to do that, and we'll push that agenda item for now. We're going to go to tab number 8. So tab number 8. So what this is a public works building construction update. As the board's well aware, Mike King and myself, as well as John Murphy and a bunch of other, very, very, dedicated. I don't want to say talented, because then you might think that I'm calling myself talented, which I'm not. But the other board members are very talented, dedicated members. And we're really lucky to have a very professional and experienced building committee. Roy's laughing. And we thought it'd be prudent to have an update. We wanted to keep our board updated, as well as the tax-paying public, as to how the project's going. John, I see that our chairman, John Murphy, on the call. John, we've got some big shoes to fill, seeing as though Tri-County's running 10 million behind their budget. Without further ado, I'd like to introduce the Public Works Building Committee Chairman, John Murphy, who I believe is then going to introduce Luke Capone from CMS. Is that accurate, John?
That is correct, Mr. Chairman. Yes, correct. So I'm John Murphy, the chairman of the DPW Building Committee. We're lucky to have on our building, our OPM, Owners Project Manager. With that, I'll pass it off to CMS.
Luke, welcome to our meeting. You're on mute, but now you're not. Welcome to our meeting. Appreciate all the hard work on the project, and I'm excited for you to share a high-level update to my fellow board members on all the hard work being done by the team.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Would you mind if I shared my screen?
I would love that. Can we give him access, please? I know they'll work on that right now. There you go.
Should be coming through right now.
Yep, we got it.
All right, good evening, everybody. Thank you for the opportunity to speak with you tonight. On the screen here is a rendering of what the new building will look like when completed. Just to orient everybody, the small image on the bottom right here, Taunton Street is on along this portion of the page here. This road is the existing road into the new facility, with the existing facility back here with the white square here shown back here. The new building is being built where the old brush dump used to be. That site has been cleared a little bit more to facilitate the construction of the new building. And the old brush dump has been moved to across the way here temporarily to facilitate construction. Just to familiarize everybody with the building, the new building will be 28,000 square feet and will consist of a combination of concrete foundations, steel superstructure, and then curtain wall and metal panels for the facade. The tall portion of the building here is the maintenance and wash bays, some administrative spaces over here, and then the garage bays in the back. To bring everybody up to date, in February, Castagna Construction was awarded the contract. They mobilized to the site in early February with a notice to proceed on February 9th. Their site contractor mobilized a week after to begin to set up erosion control around the perimeter of the site and begin clearing both the site and then also the brush dump area, while also relocating some existing site structures, sheds, trailers, things like that. As we moved into March, we continued to clear the site and begin to work on foundations. During digging for foundations, we did encounter some unsuitable material shown here, which was just some old trees, stumps, things like that, material that had been buried years ago that was found to be within the footprint of the building, so needed to be removed and then over-excavated to remove the unsuitable soil, and then proper soil with bearing capacity was brought in and compacted and overseen by the engineers. During this time, the crews were also, which is what they were doing actually over here in this photo, is locating an existing water line that ran through the site. The line was located, and we were able to tap off of that for water into the building. As we move into April, the brush dump was open for public use. We started to see some utility work on site with electric and domestic water services brought into the building footprint while foundation work was occurring. Fire hydrants were installed around the site. Our stormwater recharge system was installed, that we can see here in the bottom of the screen. The septic system was also installed, and the foundation systems were completed. Bringing us just a high-level project update with the budget and schedule. The total project budget was 25.5 million. Through the end of April, we have spent about 4.5 million, which is roughly 17%. The project budget had a contingency of 1.6 million to begin construction. Again, through the end of April, we've expensed 72,000 of that, just over 4%. And just high-level schedule update as we see the rest of the project continue. Again, foundations are completed. Steel has mobilized to the site, as we can see in the photo here. This is a photo from end of last week, where the administrative area steel has been completed, and we can start to see the steel for the wash bay in the back here. That steel is going to complete for the next couple months. Expect to be wrapped up by the end of June. For the assembly, then we'll see some decking, detailing, and other stuff like that will continue for those trades. So that'll continue into July and August. But the building envelope will arrive in July. We'll start to get the building enclosed for the end of summer, where we expect the building to be temporarily enclosed by August, where we'll start to see interior finishes, your wall framing, things like that start to occur on the inside, and the rough or the finishes will follow right after the rough to bring us through completion in early 2027. And this is again an overall just progress shot of last week, where you can see the steel has started and it is continuing out there today. Open up to any questions.
Yeah, thank you so much, Luke. We appreciate the update. I'll just start with a couple. So it looks like what are we running? And that's what we were calling for. What, 11 or 12-month construction?
Yeah, correct. Just 12-month construction, just over a year. I think it was 365 days exactly, actually.
That's great. And how are we running right now against the budget? It looks like we're right on budget. We're not over budget. We're not under budget. We're running pretty well against the budget at this point.
Yeah, correct. Right on budget at this time. No major changes. A big milestone for us, as we call it, is getting out of the ground where the foundations have been complete. The deep excavations with some of the septic and stormwater recharge systems have been completed. So there's no unforeseen challenges under the ground. That's a major win to get past, where we see a lot of the contingency get expended on projects. But right now we are right on budget. Yes.
Fantastic. Before I open it up to the other board members, John Murphy, do you have anything else you want to add?
Nothing at this time, Chris. Thank you.
Okay, so we're going to open it up to the board members for any questions or comments, starting with Selectwoman Rouse.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Luke, John, thank you for being here this evening. I appreciate the update. It's great to see such progress being made so quickly, and excited for the changes for the DPW. I have no further questions at this time. Thank you.
Thank you. Selectman Anderson?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. So either Luke or John, if everything goes according to plan, are we looking at the spring of 2027 for the DPW building to be up and operational?
That is correct. Yes.
Yes.
Spring of 2027.
All right, thank you. No further questions, Mr. Chair.
And let me clarify what Selectman Anderson was really asking. He wanted to prepare for the ceremony so that he could make sure that he had the date booked, and he was going to make himself readily available. Right, Jimmy?
Absolutely.
Thank you, Selectman Anderson. Selectman Harrington, any questions or comments?
No, thank you, Mr. Chair. I've actually popped down a handful of times to look at the progress. I'm excited to see it. John, thank you so much for all the hard work you're doing, and keep up the good work. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
And your team. Don't forget the team.
Yes, sir. A great team.
Thank you, Selectman Harrington. Selectman Lamoth.
Looks good. I'm just wondering, when is the paving going to happen? Pre-winter or post-winter?
Their plan is to get a binder course down in the next month or two, and then to do the final right in the spring.
Great.
Any further questions, Roy?
No, that's great. Thank you.
Mike King, town manager and committee member. Anything you'd like to add, comment on?
I'll just say that it's been a pleasure working with the chairman of the building committee. I speak with him on a weekly basis along with the project team. He's very much involved, as well as the other members of the committee. It's been great working with everyone, and I'll say that the committee at our meetings really gets down into the details in terms of the decision-making processes. And just in terms of talking about scheduling events, we're tentatively looking at a topping off ceremony for the building on June 25th. We're still in the process of confirming it, but the select board will be invited as part of that.
See that, Jimmy? There you go.
June 25th.
Yep, you'll be there. That's fantastic. And listen, I just want to tell you, you think our meetings run long? John and Mike and Luke can attest to the fact that a 3-hour meeting for this DPW building committee is not uncommon. My wife has no idea what we're doing on these meetings. Sometimes I don't either, but we do accomplish a lot. And, we really feel like we take the decisions that seriously. Every dollar we're spending, we know it's taxpayer dollars, and we debate, we talk, and we really try to keep that. So we really try to keep that in focus, just so my fellow board members know we're spending money like it's our own money, as we should. So I just want you guys to be aware. And with that being said, anything else for either Luke or John Murphy before we move on the agenda? No? Okay, listen, great job, Luke. John, great job. Thanks for being here. See you guys at the next meeting.
Thank you.
Okay, we're going to go to tab number 10. Okay, tab number 10 is a discussion and possible vote to amend the purchased recycled products policy. In our packet, the documentation was the sustainable purchasing policy that I believe Mike King drafted and amended. Mike, would you mind bringing the board through just a quick high-level summary of what we're trying to accomplish with this policy?
Of course. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So the Massachusetts Department of Environmental Protection has advised that towns, including Wrentham, would need to update their current buy recycled policies in order to remain eligible for its Sustainable Materials Recovery Grant Program. Annually, the DPW applies for and receives about $3,700 through the program, which can be used for a wide array of projects. Before the board this evening is a revised policy that meets the requested updates of the Department of Environmental Protection and allows the town to remain eligible for the grant moving forward.
Mike, and I do think it's worth noting to the board members and anyone else watching now or in the future, there's no formal commitment that we have to make, right? Is the understanding it's whenever feasible. So it's not like we have to spend more tax dollars in order to comply with this policy.
That is correct, Mr. Chairman. So what the policy states, to your point, whenever feasible, if there is a product that meets the same requirements of the town for equal or lesser price, the town would go with an environmentally friendly product, but would not be required to do so.
Okay, excellent. I just think it's very important for the board members to know sometimes there's a stigma that if we go that road, it's going to cost the taxpayers more. Brian has full discretion to make that call depending on the cost. I just think it's important to clarify. So before us, we have the policy. And Mike, you're looking for an adoption vote if the board sees willing?
Yes, if the board is comfortable.
So I'm going to ask the board members at this time, does anyone have any questions or comments for Town Manager Mike King regarding this policy? Anybody know? I'm seeing a lot of no's. Okay. With being none, Chair would entertain a motion to adopt the sustainable purchasing policy as presented.
So moved.
Motion made by Selectman Anderson, second by Selectwoman Rouse. Any further discussion? Being none, we'll do a roll call vote. Selectwoman Rouse?
Yes.
Selectman Anderson?
Anderson's a yes.
Selectman Harrington?
Harrington, yes.
Selectman Lamoth?
Yes.
Gallo, yes. Motion carries 5-0. Excellent. Now what we're going to do is talk about tab number 11. So tab number 11 is pretty standard. We do this every town meeting. We have to assign motions for the annual spring town meeting. In our packet, obviously, we have the warrant that we've all seen multiple times and discussed at this point. And the select board is sponsoring 2 articles for town meeting. One of them being the annual town report, and the second one is being the Rice Recreation Complex Pavilion clarification vote. So what we need to do is choose 2 of our fellow board members who will sponsor these 2 articles. And I had an idea that I wanted to run by the board to see if I could gain some support on this. my thought after talking to Selectwoman Rouse, my vice chair, was that Article 1, we would be honored if our clerk, Bill Harrington, would sponsor for us. In Article 14, we would be honored if Selectman Roy Lamoth would sponsor that article for us. And I want to get feedback from the board. I'll start with Vice Chair Rouse.
I think that's a great idea. I endorse that.
Okay. Selectman Anderson.
I concur.
Selectman Harrington.
I too concur.
Beautiful. Selectman Lamoth.
Whatever the chair would like, I accept.
Be careful what you say there, buddy.
For this,
Okay.
For this.
For this. Okay. All right. So, Mike, do we a formal vote is it needed, Town Manager King?
Not necessarily if there's agreement within amongst the board, which it appears there is.
So, okay, because you're sure you hesitated. Do you want me to ask for a formal vote?
That's not necessary. I was just double
Okay.
checking.
So let the record show that Selectman Bill Harrington is gonna sponsor Article number 1, and Selectman Roy Lamoth is gonna sponsor Article 14. Okay, excellent. Now at this time we're gonna move to hold on a second, public comment. Okay, so public comment. Residents who wish to participate in public comment will be allotted 2 minutes to speak and must state their name, address for the record, and we ask that you turn your camera on if you'd like to speak with us. At the start of the comment, a timer will be sent via message from Maya Matarazzo and should be visible on the top of the screen, and an alarm will chime when the time is up. All right, at this time, we'll open it up for any public comment. We'll give it a couple seconds here. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Public comment is over. Now we're going to move to the section of the meeting for the town manager's report.
Mr. Chairman, Mr. Lamoth just brought to my attention, he was just questioning, I had stepped out, I wasn't in the meeting at the time, whether the minutes had officially been approved.
Did we approve the minutes?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Yeah, I don't know.
Roy, what are you doing?
Normally I write it down. I write it down. I didn't catch it. My bad.
Thank you. He got me nervous. That would have been a rookie mistake on my part, but I'm listen, I could do it. So, Mike, now that we've fixed that little snafu, I'm going to hand it over to Mike King, our town manager, to give us our town manager report.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So first update revolves the annual town meeting. So the Finance Committee met last evening and voted unanimously to recommend all of the financial articles for the June 1st annual town meeting warrant. Additionally, the General Bylaw Review Committee met earlier this evening. Select Board Member Roy Lamoth is a member of that committee, and I'm currently awaiting its official recommendations before publishing the report to voters, which has already been drafted. Additionally, I recorded a short interview about town meeting with Wrentham Community Media yesterday morning that will air as part of their Wrentham 360 program this Friday. The town will be utilizing all of its communication channels, including Mixel notifications to promote attendance at town meeting and to encourage attendees to arrive early for check-in. Staff will be present to check in voters beginning at 5:30 for the 7 o'clock meeting. Update on the Roderick School Building Project. This afternoon, members of the Roderick School Building Project team met with the Council on Aging to review the project and answer questions. We fielded numerous questions on the project and will be utilizing the valuable feedback we received for the town meeting presentation on June 1st. I will note that the last Roderick School Building Project Community Forum will be held virtually on Wednesday, May 27th at 7 p.m. It will be a great opportunity to learn more about the project and ask questions before town meeting. Additionally, I will note that a ballot committee has been formed to support the Roderick School Building Project. You may have noticed lawn signs appearing throughout the town that they have funded.
Yes, Mike, just say that again, that they have funded, so people know that the town has not supplied any money towards those lawn signs.
Yes, that is correct, Mr. Chairman. The town cannot purchase lawn signs to advocate for or against a debt exclusion vote or anything on the ballot. So those have to be funded outside of the town's resources.
Thank you.
Update on the Route 140 Stormwater Phase 2 project. Construction has begun for Phase 2 of the Route 140 Stormwater project to construct an additional infiltration basin aimed at improving drainage and reducing flooding around Route 140. This project has been funded via a state earmark and is expected to be completed within the next week. Update on the Director of Planning and Economic Development search. Final interviews for the Director of Planning and Economic Development position have been scheduled for next Tuesday. We have 2 finalists. They will be interviewed by myself, Planning Board Chair Tom Maloney, Select Board Vice Chair Michelle Rouse, Building Commissioner John Naff, and Assistant Town Manager and HR Director Greg Enos. During this current transition period, Eve Tapper will continue to serve as interim town planner. And my last update this evening is for the Regional Conservation Agent. The Regional Conservation Agent position will be posted later this week. The Select Board previously approved an intermunicipal agreement with the town of Norfolk to share a conservation agent, and the selected candidate would have an anticipated start date of this upcoming July 1st. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
And there's only one more thing that you didn't add to your town manager report, was that we're going to appoint Greg Enos, otherwise known as Howie Mandel, per his screen picture there, as town manager, director of human, as acting town manager during Mike's absence, effective May 20th through May 24th. In said time, we're going to petition acting town manager Enos to quadruple the salary of all the select board members.
Done on first day.
And call a snow day in the middle of June. Just kidding. So, Mike, listen, you do a fantastic job for this board, for our community, for the town. I hope you take a few days off, unplug. We can handle it for a few days while you're not here. The ship won't sink. Enjoy time away and spend time with your family. All right?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I appreciate that and the support of the board.
All right. At this time, no further business. Is that correct, Mr. King?
I believe everything has been addressed, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. Without further ado, Selectman Anderson, the floor is yours.
So, Mr. Chair, before we wrap up, first of all, I also want to extend you a very happy birthday from last week.
Thank you.
And now that I'm back from visiting my grandkids, if you're available either Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday this week, I'd be happy to take you out for an adult beverage, and I'd invite the rest of the members of the board.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Let's communicate offline. I'll check my schedule. But I appreciate the offer, and thank you for calling out the fact that I'm now a year older. I appreciate that.
Anytime, Mr. Chair. So with that said, with your permission, motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
Motion made by Selectman Anderson, second by Selectwoman Rouse. That was the fastest motion Rouse made all night, by the way. Any further discussion? Being none, we'll do a roll call vote. Selectwoman Rouse?
Yes.
Yes.
Anderson? Harrington?
Harrington, yes.
Lamoth?
Yes.
Gallo, yes. Motion carries 5-0. Great job and good night, everybody.
See everyone Monday.